We've all experienced the effect of timing on our lives. There's timing connected to things we can control, like when we're gonna arrive at a party not too early, where we're gonna be there awkward. Then there's the timing that's out of our control, like when someone gets a diagnosis that changes everything. I grew up in the microwaveable Lunchables era. Those tiny pizzas with the red sauce and the 2 types of cheese that you sprinkle yourself, then zap for a few seconds. The microwave made things so simple. It helped me believe that good things come without waiting. These are my parents. Like them, I expected to get married right after college because that was the story I heard growing up. My expectation for timing was based on their experience. When that didn't happen, I went a little crazy. Boy crazy. No matter how hard I tried putting myself out there, I remained single, dateless, and a little desperate. Finally, I heard God say, "Elisa, stop this. Don't date for a year." I wanted to make sure I heard that right. A year? I said yes, but it felt scary to me. The timing was unfamiliar. The next week, 5 different guys asked me out. Letting them down one by one was one of the most confusing, exhilarating, sad, and hilarious things that I've ever done. During that year of singleness, I gave up pursuing men and focused instead on my grandmother. This is her on the right. She was my hero, a woman who could walk into any room and fill it with so much enthusiasm. It was like someone turned on a light of pure love. I was living with her at the time, working in video production. I begged her to share her life story with me, and I recorded it with my video camera. Her story was full of timing that broke the norm. When she was 21, her mother died unexpectedly on the operating table. When most of her friends were getting married and having babies, she broke off her engagement and moved to Spain as a single missionary. With every story I captured, I marveled at the woman in front of me, the challenges she faced, and the incredible joy she had despite everything. The timing of this interview didn't feel super important at the time. It was just something we captured for fun, and it lived unedited on a hard drive. Fast forward 3 years. I had moved out on my own, started a video production company, married an amazing man, and we were expecting our first daughter. I was so happy that the timing of my life was finally moving forward. Until morning sickness hit. It took me out. I was barely functional for months longer than expected, barely able to eat hard-boiled eggs and blueberry muffins. I couldn't work. I wasn't making money, and we could no longer afford our beautiful townhome. Moving carries significance in time, doesn't it? It helps us mark seasons of our lives and transition us to what's next. For me, this move meant surrendering my plans and my timing once again. Thankfully, I did know who to call, and without hesitation, my grandmother offered her basement to us. Once I swallowed my pride, I felt that this timing could be good for all of us. I loved her and wanted her to be near when my daughter was born. And her health was declining, and we were there to help with simple things like meals and doctor visits. I started wondering how we could make the most of this time together. Client work was slow, and I was mostly at home with my newborn. My grandmother wasn't driving anymore, so she was at home most of the time too. And I had all this footage of her story. That's it. I would finish the film of her life. Our whole family began planning a huge 90th birthday celebration together. I interviewed her children and all of her grandchildren. I interviewed her again, and I spent hours at my desk editing footage with a baby in my lap. It was all going according to plan until the night we heard her fall. It didn't sound good. We took her to the ER. She had broken some bones. She needed help remembering that she was hooked up to oxygen 24/7 now. Her birthday was a few months away. I'm very thankful to say that she did make it to her birthday party. We showed the film of her life to over 100 of her closest friends and family. The whole room celebrated and laughed and cried over her stories. She was honored in a way that we all felt so proud of. And she passed away just a few months later. Choosing to spend that moment in time celebrating a legacy marked me forever. The values of honor, truth, and love developed through telling her story are foundational to the way that I create videos for businesses and nonprofits professionally today. When is the right time to take on a project like this? Most of the time when I ask someone about legacy storytelling, they'll answer, I am not ready to tell my story. I don't have time. My story isn't over yet. Or my story isn't worth telling. If I had waited to begin capturing my grandmother's story when I thought her story might be almost over, I would have missed it. I've heard others tell me the same. They waited too long and they regret it. You can start capturing a legacy story today. Grab your phone, find a quiet place, and spend 10 minutes with someone you care about, asking interesting questions about their life and listening. Or you could hire my company, Sherwood Media. Either way, the best time to begin telling your story is now.
We're going to take a short intermission, and then we have 2 more presentations.